Hey, Lois here. Just a reminder, this is 2015 and we're celebrating the 70th anniversary for the end of the war. So whenever you see a veteran, World War II, Korean, Vietnam, just a veteran, just please thank them and say thank you for our freedoms, because I think this is a special time that we should keep in remembrance. But I want to share another clip with my friend Alfred. And if you've seen a previous clip, you know that when he was in third grade, he had double pneumonia. And so just the fact that he was in the military was amazing. But I guess here's how tough he was. But this is an interesting story through that process of how he overcame the holdbacks, if you will, from having that particular double pneumonia at that age. So please listen to Alfred, and then also make sure to join our Facebook page.
My name is Alfred Daniel Gates, and there's a long story behind that too. And I served in the Army, and it was a really neat thing. But one of my buddies that I played with there in the Navy was a Boy Scout, and he said, "Alfred, why don't you come and join the Boy Scouts with me?" And so I did. It was sponsored by the West Michigan Street Methodist Church, and I really tacked on to the scouting program and activities and everything. Eventually became an Eagle Scout. There's a lot of things in scouting, but I didn't accomplish squat in sports. When I was taking gym at Washington High School as a freshman there, I was the last kid chosen. Anytime they did anything, and in my freshman and sophomore year were both the same, they were miserable for me. And then I found out I could take ROTC instead of gym. So I signed up for junior ROTC, and I clicked with that. And ended up, by the time I got to be a senior, I was the battalion adjutant as a cadet major in ROTC. And of course, had been all different things, from assistant patrol leader up to junior assistant scoutmaster in my scout troop. So I was quite qualified there. And I took a test when I was a senior at Washington. And at the top of the form, it said Army or Navy. And I wasn't a strong swimmer, so I checked Army. And then after I graduated, I had been working part-time at Sears Roebuck's. And so I went to work full-time there at Sears. And no, I was still working part-time at Sears. And my mother said, "Did you read that letter close?" I got a letter from the Army, said, "Report to the Armory there on Pennsylvania Street for a physical to see if you qualify to be in the Army." Mom said, "Did you read that letter close?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "It said bring a suitcase with 2 weeks worth of clothes." I reread the letter, and sure enough, that's what it said. I went down to the Armory, my appointment, 4th of August, 1943. And I passed the physical. And they swore me into the Army Reserves. I was still 17 years old. And sure enough, they put me on a bus and sent me down to the University of Kentucky in Lexington. And I spent 3 months down there on a quarterly basis. It equated to 35 hours, 35 college hours. And I got through that, but I turned 18. And well, while I was there, I became the company commander for the ROTC. And I could hitchhike home with my ROTC uniform on because in 1943, soldiers were picked up and nobody messed with us. At least I never got messed with. Anyway, I could hitchhike home from Lexington through Louisville quicker than I could take a bus or anything short of flying. And there's no way I could do that. And there's some wild stories about hitchhiking home from there. Well, anyway, I turned 18, and during my quarter that I spent down there in the UK, and in November, then I came home, and I had all the required merit badges for Eagle, and they called a special board of review, and so I passed it for my Eagle Scout and became qualified as an Eagle. And fortunately, since they put me on active duty in the Army and sent me to Fort Benning, Georgia, for Army Specialized Training, Basic Training. It was a special basic training class down there. And my Eagle Scout Award was presented in January at a special court of honor for all the Eagle Scouts. And my mother picked up my badge, my award, and mailed it to me at Fort Benning, Georgia. Well, to get back to Fort Benning, I reported down there for the special basic training for the Army Specialized Training Program. And it was halfway between infantry basic and infantry OCS, because in the specialized training program we were scheduled to go back to college and get a degree in whatever, engineering, whatever the Army needed. Well, anyway, in week 9 of this special basic training, they decided that they needed us more on the regular Army than going to school. They dropped 35,000 from the specialized training program, including all of us that were in basic training. And there were 35 of us that they assigned to the 23rd Signal Construction